I strongly believe Izzy is back. The prospect of that should be scary. Izzy won't lose next time. He can't. I know. It sounds crazy for me to be saying this. And yes, it was just yesterday that he lost the championship belt. But hear me out. These are not just the words of a fanboy jerking Jizzy off. There are a couple of reasons why he's going to change, evolve into a whole nother beast. The evolution of Izzy is going to reach the next stage, and we're going to see a completely different animal. For one, he gets to reset, start over from zero. He came out with some sentiments very similar to Usman when he lost. He said, oh, the burden's been taken off my shoulders. He can kind of just breathe again. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. It's not a phrase that rings hollow. It is weighty and massive, carrying around that responsibility, defending your crown, being the champion, having that pressure at all times. So he gets to go back to the drawing board to assess his reign, this being his 6th title defense. He gets to look at the weapons that he's lacking, the weapons that he has, what went wrong, which we will assess a little bit later. But he gets to reinvent himself if he chooses to do so. And I believe he will. But most importantly, he gets to go back to that Izzy that we saw on the come up. Remember how fun he was? The celebration after the victory. That was not there in this performance. When he entered the cage, you don't even want to call it nervousness, but it just was a stoicism that just doesn't suit him. He didn't seem to be having fun. It was all business and no pleasure. And not just saying you, Izzy. Let's be real. We need to see backflips and ninja sign weaves and anime references and what have you. That's more in line with who you are. You could say it took him out of his game. You could say, a lot of things, but he just wasn't himself. And for better or worse, that played a part in this battle. He could stand to add some things. He's an excellent, supreme specialist when it comes to striking. That being said, there's a reason that he incorporated wrestling. He tried to grapple with Alex Pereira, but in that arena, he was severely lacking. If he had just a little bit more knowledge, if he had that one closing tool, when he brought him down, he had that wrist control, he could have transitioned, he could have gone into a submission, and that would have sealed the deal right then and there. He had excellent control, and Alex being an amateur, he could have capitalized on that moment. He had control for several minutes, all in wasted effort if you don't do anything with that time, if you don't do anything with that opportunity. So he could stand to add some things to his arsenal, his takedown defense. While solid up to that point, he didn't expect Alex to even attempt that seriously. So it caught him off guard. And then the clinching as well. Alex stalked him and walked him down. What's going to be your counter to that? So all these things that he can address to become a better supreme fighter, because this is a loss, this is an L. Quite simply, he brought it to your territory and he was a better man. But I believe that's the fun in it for Adesanya, getting to do that. And this gives him an excuse to shift away from the way he's been doing things up until now. Because yeah, it allowed him to lap and run circles around the division. But new challenger, and he's akin to Sagat or M. Bison. It ain't going down like that. Which leads us into reason number 2. There won't be anything standing in his way this time. No room for a useless pride. Because let's be real, history repeated itself quite viciously. He was winning again. Some people had it 3-1, at the worst 3-2, but he was up. He was up. And DC had it 4-0. I don't see it that. I don't see how he had it at that. That's fanboy now. But realistically, I'm saying he had 3-1. And Pereira comes and gets the KO knockout victory against him. If Izzy had just kept to the point fighting and not tried to beat him his way, the way he wanted to take him out. He wanted to take him out either via KO or with some kind of dramatic finish. And that is not something that you should have been attempting to do. That was just for your pride, for your own ego, trying to get revenge. Izzy, the perfect way he wanted to do it was round one. He wanted to knock him out. He needed that. He needed that for the sake of his ego. And we all know it's as massive as can be. That being said, you should have just held on to the match. People had to boo you. Who gives a fuck? Like your trainer said, you're 5 minutes away. Do what you gotta do. And he's just like, nah, I'll risk it. Why? That's a part of also what makes him great. Not wanting to be satisfied with just clinching a victory. Going out there and seizing it, Carpe Diem style. But it backfired like a mother. So if he just had made it, a muddy match, Doroshi, I used to say in Japanese, clinch, held on, kept that distance there between them. His foot was injured, but all the more reason why you should have just drug it out. Let him put you in that tight space. You've got to always be thinking about a way out. Always be thinking about the worst outcomes, the disadvantageous scenarios. Hit that eject button and get the fuck up out of that corner, out of that confined space where Alex works best, in a fucking phone booth where he's got you pinned down, locked down, and he can just unleash the power. That was just pride. Pride leads to getting complacent. He got complacent in this match, and with a dangerous man, it's like, how could you forget that there's a tiger right in front of you, ready to maul you at a moment's notice? With this, he can't afford to go down the same path. To seize victory in his hands and regain that fucking belt from Alex, if he has it at that point, he's going to have to throw away that which he has become and become anew. By all means necessary, live, sleep, eat, and breathe that philosophy. Whatever you got to do to beat this man, because this match and the last match you played against him before that proves that you can beat him, but you have to stick to a plan. You have to stick to your strength. You have to do what is necessary. Like I said, that means adding a tool. That means point fighting at a certain point or for the duration of the match. You cannot concern yourself with anything other than a new champion. That's it. Everything else can be whittled away. Only what's necessary is needed for this journey. Buckle up. Which leads us to reason number 3. He doesn't have to be the hunted. He gets to do the hunting with his speed. Okay, I'm just playing. Like I said in reason number 1, similar to Usman, he gets to have that pressure taken off his shoulders, and we all know it's easier to do the pursuing rather than be pursued. There's no rest, no sleep, no safety. There's no time to rest on your laurels. You must be ready at any moment's notice to defend what's yours. And you're everybody's Super Bowl, to quote an NFL phrase. When you are the undefeated, when you're the previous champion, everybody's gonna get up for the match against you. It just means a little bit more. They put on a little bit extra. All for you, baby. That is a pressure that Alex in the UFC hasn't felt yet. Kamaru had a long streak. Adesanya was going up against Silva's streak. And it pigeonholes you into a frame, a way of thinking, a way of fighting. Like I said, Adesanya had been stuck into doing things this way, and then even affected the way he approached this match. Now he can just be free and get back to the core components that brought him this championship. He gets to be hungry again. He's fucking starving. Remember how fun it was when you first started out on a venture? You didn't know if you could do it, and then you hit a reset button. You're back at a level where you have to regain what you've lost. And that fire and hunger burns inside you to get that. And yeah, you've had some attempts, you've had some success, but this is a whole new challenge, a new battle, a new frontier to explore. How exciting, riveting that is to transform and to, again, reach for your potential, to grow and push yourself to new limits, to new heights. That is what he's gonna have to be after. That's the mindset he's gonna have to adopt. And he didn't look defeated. He looked relieved. And that bounce back from that pursuit, the determination, that stress, that strive, after this battle will tell us everything about Israel Adesanya. I strongly believe he'll come back a much stronger man than he was before. And the prospect of that should be scary for everybody. And that's not to take away from Alex Pereira. I applaud him in his victory. But man, Izzy is back! That Izzy that we saw before, man, he is gonna get after it. He's about to get it in.
Like, comment, share, subscribe if you
Thanks for watching. Check me out at Cintron, Cintron Anime, Cintron Life, or Cintron Laughs, or other social media.